We've got Joey Erickson, a.k.a. Slim Scotty, in with us. I wanted to talk a little bit more about...
Janmark used to play for us, Kevin.
Yeah, we were due for the Janmark revenge game. I was really scared about the Kiwi Ranta revenge game.
We avoided that mostly against Colorado.
We did. He only scored one goal.
Yeah.
And it didn't really matter. I think that was in game 2, even though it became a butt clincher down the stretch there. Dallas got a little lemon prepared. So, yeah.
That is... I understand.
Yep, puckered up.
All right. So for Rope, I know in theory, like DeBoer talks about, hey, any line he plays on or the special teams is going to make an impact. Robertson, clearly he loves playing alongside with Rope Hintz. What have you thought about, well, maybe yesterday and the game before, and then just the potential that he brings back to this team?
Yeah, Rope's a huge addition, and from my perspective, he at least gives the Stars something that can sort of match McDavid as a number one center, and he's looked really good. He's had some juice. Unfortunately, that puck rolled on him on that breakaway. Otherwise, it may be 3-0, and we're talking about a different result. But he obviously opens up a lot of time and space for guys like Jason Robertson, and he was the benefit of it of Game 3. The amount of pressure he puts on a defense just with his speed and skill opens up time and space for Jason Robertson. As you mentioned earlier, if there's critiques to Robertson's game, it's his foot speed and it's his physicality.
Have you been impressed at all? Just real quick on that. It seems like he's done a much better job at blocking the puck in the playoffs than ever before.
Yeah, and he made a couple spectacular defensive plays yesterday as well early in that first period. And this isn't a knock on him as his of his postseason in general, because he's been really good. I mean, he's a point per game, but they needed him to score that hat trick. I mean, it was his first goal since Game 5 against Vegas. They needed him to find the back of the net. And Rope creates time and space for him, which allows Robo to get to the spots and areas that he needs to get to in order to score goals. Also, it helped out. Edmonton didn't defend quite well in Game 3. That second goal Robertson had, there was like 5 blue sweaters in front of the crease, and somehow it plops to, to Robo, and he just whips it home on the backhand. But yeah, Rope is obviously a huge addition, and he's looked really, really good. I thought he could be the difference in this series, and hopefully that is the case moving forward, because he's the Stars' best skater, and he's arguably the most important piece for Dallas here in this series.
That segues into a conversation that we were having, and we all have kind of different answers. Who's the best player on the Stars? Because you look at Edmonton, and you can say Connor McDavid. I feel like you could do the exact same thing, with all due respect to Makar. I feel like you could do the same thing for Colorado. Who is the best Stars player? Because I would say Rope, but I think there are a couple of different answers here.
I would go with Miro. I just think he's that important on the back end, and he kind of is the straw that stirs the drink. But Rope's the best forward for Dallas, so I think it's really a toss-up.
Could also get in there?
Yeah, I think you could throw him in there.
YouTube, they threw in Tanev.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the most valuable piece to the Stars, especially with the way he's been able to fit in seamlessly and basically improve the defense the moment he stepped on the ice. And maybe it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Maybe it's a good thing that they have a bunch of different guys they can go to. And maybe it's also not the best that they don't have someone that they know they can go to.
Yeah, well, or at least have that one of those guys say, "I'm putting the cape on today." You know, that would be a great thing. And usually, I feel like it's Jamie Benn that kind of does set that tone. But he's not. He's no longer your best player. But he is that guy that, and I've said this multiple times over the history of Jamie Benn. He looks bigger whenever he decides he wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's a bigger guy on the ice. He skates faster when he's that guy. He puts you into the board harder. Whenever he decides I'm ready to do that, he just looks like a different player.
And unfortunately, it pains me to say this, Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin have probably been 2 of your top 3 forwards in this series. And that's not necessarily a great thing. They have been so good. They have a combined, I think, 27 points in the postseason, and we would have killed for that. They are having career postseasons right now in their early and mid 30s. But you need some other guys to really step up. And Wyatt's had a phenomenal postseason, and so has Robo, but they just need more. You always need more. So I'm curious to see who's going to have that moment. I thought that was really big in that first series against Vegas. Outside of those first 2 games, Dallas finally got some moments for some guys. Otter had that huge save against Stevenson on the breakaway. The overtime goal from Johnston in Game 3. Who's going to have that big moment for Dallas here in one of the next 2 games?
Okay, my question, has the ship sailed on Pavelski being that guy? I do think Pavelski's had more moments. They haven't necessarily equated to points, but more moments. Can I still hold out hope that the old guy without a cup is going to figure it out?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think this series in particular is just moving really fast. And he's been good in different facets of the game, of course. He's responsible in his own zone. He does win a lot of face-offs, so he is still having an impact, but I just don't think it's going to come on the score sheet, which is really unfortunate because he could be a huge difference maker in this series. But I would love to be wrong on that, Kevin.
Yes.
I would love to be wrong.
We're talking in studio with our homie Joey Erickson of Locked On Stars. I did want to make sure to give you that shout out one more time.
Do we have to have somebody from Locked On Mavs on tomorrow to even it out?
I think that might, it's only fair if we do that. So
Reggie's been on Locked On Mavs.
That's true.
That's what I meant.
That is true.
Okay, I gotcha.
In your face, Nick.
But it feels like during the course of this game and during the course of this series, playing in the neutral zone has obviously been super important, but it feels like also the first period, the Stars operated very easily, clean entry a lot, and then the second and third period is not even close. And so, what's been the major factor in making that big swing in the course of this game and the series?
Yeah, Pavelski talked post-game, and he mentioned that they stalled out a couple times in the neutral zone, and Edmonton has done a great job of just kind of clogging it up, and Dallas hasn't necessarily really embrace the dump and chase part of their game. And as much as I would love to get very strategic and get into the tactics of everything, I think it really simply comes down to just winning battles at this point. Who's going to win more of those 50-50 pucks? You look at the second goal for Edmonton. They win 2 board battles, and it ends up on net, and they score. In Game 3 specifically, in that first period, I think TNT showed the numbers. Edmonton out-battled Dallas in the first period, and then the second and third period, Dallas heavily out-battled Edmonton. And at some point, sometimes it just comes down to really simple things. We've also noticed for Dallas in the neutral zone specifically, which they have been able to find some success, is basically just having that winger below the zone and get behind the Edmonton defense. And that's where you're seeing some of those breakaways. Yeah. So they have been able to stretch out Edmonton's defense a bit. Unfortunately, though, when you're trailing, you're going to have to take some more risks, and you're going to have to get all 5 players involved in the offense. So you're prone to give up some odd man rushes. But that's just the nature of the game. When you're down by 2, you have to find a way to conjure up something. So you're going to be more prone to giving up some of those odd man rushes. And that's why it's important for Dallas to get out to a lead and hold on to it the best they can. But that doesn't feel like it's going to be the recipe in this series. You're just not going to be able to slow down Edmonton. They're going to get their looks. It's not like Vegas where you can almost just hunker down and hold on for dear life. It's just not going to happen.
I felt like it was closer to Colorado, where it's just like, just keep pushing, try to wear them out that way. I don't feel like we've seen the best of the Stars so far at all. I mean, maybe a period here and there, but I don't think we've seen a full one of those games where we're just like, that's Stars hockey right there. Have we seen the best of Edmonton, or are they like continually on this rise right now?
I think we've seen the best of Edmonton in terms of the results.
Okay.
I think they're thrilled that this series is tied at 2 games apiece. And
they said they were thrilled when it was tied 1-1.
I think you also have to feel that both teams pretty much did their job, right? Edmonton started the first 2 games on the road. They earned a split, and Dallas did the same, right? You get home ice advantage back. But I don't think Edmonton has played their best full game, and I don't think the Stars have as well. Okay. Even in the wins that Dallas had, I mean, game 3 was probably their best in terms of what they played a good 45 minutes out of 60.
Yeah.
And probably I would give them like a B, maybe B- for what they did, which also brings some comfort knowing that they haven't even played their best and they're still finding a way to stay in these games. They just really need to tighten up the hinges, tighten up defensively a bit. I think they've turned the puck over a lot.
Yes.
They've had a lot of giveaways. And I think that's something, if you know, you're part of the club, you're thinking, look, a lot of this is self-inflicted wounds, guys. Like, we can clean this up and we can be right in this thing.
From the 817, just to show where people are at here, Joey. It's 2-2. We aren't freaking out, are we?
No.
And then 2 minutes earlier, from the 214, Stars fan here, but I know it's over, and the Oilers are winning this series just purely because of the power play leverage they have. So I'm much more towards I'm not freaking out, but I understand the trouble on the power play.
Yeah, but that's interesting to mention that because coming into the series, Edmonton profiled statistically as the much better power play team, and that says a lot considering because it felt like the Stars were good on the power play themselves and special teams in general with the kill as well.
They haven't done jack on their own.
Yeah, I was like, that's been even. It's been a 5-on-5 series.
No, it really has, and that was something that was going to be important for Dallas in this series is not to get into penalty trouble, and that's what also makes the series kind of bonkers. I feel like both teams have kind of played the game that they want to play for most of the time. It's just who's going to take advantage of those opportunities. But yeah, if the game's played mostly at 5-on-5, you think that would benefit Dallas,
right.
But it really hasn't come to fruition. But I do know the more power plays you give Edmonton, they're going to make you pay. Like McDavid and Draisaitl are eventually going to capitalize, unless Otter just puts his stick on the goal line for the rest of the year. He may should do that. Just
somebody did ask. They said, "Can you ask Joey what he thinks about McDavid 0 versus Ottinger stick 2? Do you agree with that?"
Yes.
All right.
I think Ottinger should just start throwing his stick around. That actually would be a penalty, but no, that was hilarious. That's hilarious. How many times does a goaltender lose his stick and it ends up in the corner and then he gets scored on? But this time it's right on the goal line, perfectly placed. Maybe they should think about that for like empty net situations. Like before you leave, just, I dropped my stick.
That was unbelievable. I would have been so mad if that happened in
I don't know
Dallas.
if that was going in. It looked like it was maybe going to hit the post. But for our sake, let's just say it was going in. So what a stop.
What was your prediction going into the series, and have you revised it? Because I said Stars in 5, so I've had to revise.
Yeah. I said Stars in 4.
Did you? Okay, yeah. Well, my ego wanted to say Stars in 5, but it's never easy with the Dallas Stars, and it's never easy this time of year. So I went I went Stars in 6. And I haven't revised it as of yet. I'll obviously have to revise that after Game 5 if they lose. But I think Dallas can still rattle off a couple. Edmonton still has to win. I mean, including last night's win, they had to win 3 out of the final 4 games. It's really, really hard to do against the Stars. Even if Chris Tanev is out of the lineup, there's a lot of pride. there's a lot of pride in this group, so they're going to find a way to make it tough. And I think Dallas is going to be a really, really tough out. So I'll stay with Stars in 6 for right now.
And if the Stars do win, obviously Eastern Conference Finals 2-2 as well, hotly debated going into that series. What do you think? Who's going to prevail in that one? I'd pick the Panthers initially in 7.
Yeah, Panthers are intriguing because they just beat the crap out of you and they just want to literally destroy you for as much as the time allows. And they've tried to beat up New York. Both phenomenal netminders, like 2 of the top 3 goaltenders in the National Hockey League, in Bobrovsky and Shesterkin. I think New York's going to prevail.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the first time since 2013 that a President's Cup trophy team makes the Stanley Cup final. So I'll give New York the edge with Shesterkin because I think he's playing better than the 2 netminders as of right now.
But those President's Cup trophy teams don't usually win.
They do not. Yeah, it's very tough.
So you're saying he's wrong. Okay.
And Canadian teams don't win as well.
Exactly.
So even if Edmonton makes it, they're not going to win.
Dude, if Edmonton played the Rangers in the Stanley Cup final, I'd be like, well, one of these narratives is going to have to go just a little bit.
Well, Kevin, a very important question came in, and this is, we know that when you're predicting series, this is something you have to consider. So, Joey, I'll put this to you from 806. Have the Oilers outswagged the series, the Stars?
That's a good question.
Crucial. That's important.
Maybe they have.
No.
That's a good question.
They one of the Oilers yesterday because Darnell Nurse, I don't know if you saw that, was getting a lot of flack from Edmonton's media, and Yeah, one of the players after the game was like, everybody and their dog's coming after Nurse. And it's, well, I mean, it did go off his rear end and in. So he was -2 in the first 6 minutes of the game. So
I really hated that little situation he had with Rope on the board over there where it was just real
They
weird
look like kids fighting on a road trip.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, Jamie Benn needs to muck it up a bit more. We need some intimidation factor. Go in there, crash some heads together, see if Edmonton's ready. And how much do they want to win this series?
Okay, I do hate. It's like it's about who wants it more. I was like, I bet they both really, really want to win.
You could see it though.
I don't know.
Yeah, one of them has 3 Reillys in there though.
Yeah.
Well,
that is
you just
true.
have to figure out which one.
That is a fair counterpoint. Where can people find you besides when you show up here?
You can find me on Locked On Stars. It's available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube as well. There's a nice video element, so I'd really appreciate the love and support there. I'm almost to 3,000 subscribers. This is a shameless plug, so let's continue to grow the brand. And I do want to say a huge, huge shout out to all of DFW and all the Tolos that have kind of jumped on board with Locked On Stars over the past few months. It's been phenomenal. Everybody that's sauced me a like, sauced me a comment, or anything, it's been fantastic. So I've really enjoyed it and appreciate all the love and support from DFW, baby.
Do you have thoughts about the last thing?
What does that mean?
Yeah,
sauce.
Is that a thing? Reggie even looks a little confused here.
Alec knows what sauce
We established
means.
today that I don't know things.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a new one for me.
Yeah.
And I would like
I'll go
some
ask our
sauce as
intern
well.
in the break what exactly that means.
I want sauce.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be talking about the Stanley Cup final.
2 parades, Kevin, upcoming.
I want them to happen at the same time.
Awesome.
Maybe they're running alternate routes and they eventually both cross over.
No, you don't.
God.
You as a person that appreciates value, you want 2 separate parades.
No, what I want is the same route, but split down the middle. So they're just on each side of the street.
Yeah,
they're just going down the street together at the same time.
We could get all the Euros together, like Doncic and Miro, and probably just ripping like Sigs and stuff. It'd be awesome. I don't know if Miro subscribes to that. Zubov does.
That part
so
of the parade is going to be rowdy as hell.
Yeah, I'll give so much sauce to that one.
All right. You sound like somebody's father.
I am somebody's father.
Yeah, but it's not good to sound like
3 fathers.
I'll give you 5 on a 10 on that one.
All right, thanks.
That was better than I would have guessed. Thank you very much, good sir.